Oh, sorry. I accidentally poured juice into the gas tank of your SUV, my sister said, her tone light, like she'd just spilled a glass of water. I stood in the driveway staring at her. My luxury SUV sat there, the metallic paint glinting in the morning sun, except for the sticky orange trail running down from the open fuel cap. A faint citrus smell hit me. She didn't even flinch. This wasn't an accident. Not after what I'd told her yesterday, that I wasn't signing over our parents' condo to her. Not now, not ever. I'd worked too hard to protect that property from being chewed up by family greed, and she knew it. She thought she was clever. That one petty act would push me into a corner, make me change my mind. Instead of yelling, I just walked past her, grabbed my keys from the kitchen counter, locked the garage door from the inside. My silence wasn't weakness, it was the first step. That night, while she was probably bragging to someone about teaching me a lesson, I made 2 quiet phone calls. The first was to my insurance provider. I rewrote every policy, changed ownership details, made sure her name disappeared from anything she could still touch. The second was to the condo's security desk. I revoked every spare key, changed the access code, and flagged her name so that if she even tried to enter, I'd get a call. By the time I went to bed, I wasn't angry anymore. Anger gives people too much credit. I was calm, focused. Then came the moment I was waiting for. At exactly 7:42 a.m., my phone lit up on the nightstand. 6 missed calls. 3 texts in a row. Call me now. This isn't funny. You need to fix this. I didn't answer. I let her sit in it. Whatever she woke up to, it was only the beginning. And the best part? She still had no idea that the most important thing she thought she owned wasn't hers anymore. Ever seen someone's small revenge backfire so hard that they lose the very thing they were fighting for? I didn't answer her calls. Not yet. I got up, made coffee, opened the blinds, let the sunlight fill the room. It's amazing how much better the morning feels when you know you're the one holding all the cards. At 8:03 a.m., my phone buzzed again, this time from the condo's security desk. They'd followed my instructions to the letter. Sir, your sister's here. Says she forgot the new code. She's upset. I could hear her voice in the background getting sharper. I told him calmly, she doesn't live there anymore. Do not let her in. Click. Call ended. Minutes later, another text came through from her. What did you do? My things are inside. I'm calling Mom. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my laptop and checked the insurance dashboard. Her name, gone from every file. Her access, revoked from every vehicle, every property. I even took the liberty of moving a few funds into a separate account she didn't know existed. By 9:15 she'd switched to a different tactic. Another call, this one voice trembling with fake calm. Look, can we talk? You're overreacting. I didn't mean to. I hung up before she could finish. The truth was simple. She wanted control. I gave her the illusion of it for years. But illusions don't pay for SUVs, condos, or insurance policies. And now, the illusion was gone. By noon my mom called. Her tone had that edge, the one that said she'd already taken my sister's side without asking a single question. She's saying you locked her out. Is that true? I just said, if she told you about the juice in my gas tank, then yes. It's true. Silence. Then a quick, I'll call you back. That was the moment I knew the story was starting to spread. And with every retelling she'd be the one looking smaller. She thought she'd embarrassed me. But she was just giving me the perfect stage. Have you ever watched someone hand you all the pieces you need to end their own game? By the next morning, my sister's little incident wasn't just between us. It had legs. I walked into the coffee shop downtown and 2 people at the counter were whispering about me. Or rather, about her. Did you hear? She poured juice in his SUV. Can you imagine? It's funny how small towns work. You don't need to tell your story, they tell it for you. I ordered my coffee, took a seat by the window and watched my phone light up. Texts from old friends. From people I hadn't heard from in years. Is this about your sister? Man, she's bold. Meanwhile, she was scrambling. 3 missed calls from an unknown number, probably her trying on a different phone. 2 voicemails I didn't bother opening. Around noon, my buddy Mark sent me a photo. It was my sister standing in the condo parking lot, arms crossed, talking to 2 cops. The caption, she's not winning this one. I already knew what she was trying. Claiming she was a resident. That I'd illegally locked her out. Except every piece of paperwork said otherwise now. Ownership? Mine. Access? Mine. Her name? Completely gone. So when the officer called me, his voice was polite but cautious. "Sir, your sister says her belongings are inside the condo." I told him the truth. "They're not hers. Not legally. She's been removed from access. If she has proof otherwise, I'll be happy to see it." There was a pause, then, "Understood." Click. An hour later she tried again. This time through our mom. "She's crying," Mom said. "Just give her the code so she can get her things." I took a slow breath. "Tell her the storage unit is paid for 6 months. Everything she owns will be delivered there tomorrow. She doesn't need the code." That was the moment the balance tipped. Her temper, her pride, couldn't survive being handled like a business transaction. She wanted drama. I gave her logistics. And in this town, nothing's more humiliating than wanting a scene and getting silence instead. Ever seen someone realize the crowd they were playing to isn't clapping anymore? By the third day she stopped calling me directly. Not because she'd given up, but because she'd found a new audience. Her social media was suddenly full of cryptic posts. Black and white selfies. Quotes about betrayal. Hashtags like #FamilyCanHurtToo. She wanted sympathy. She got comments instead. And not the kind she was hoping for. One of her own friends wrote, "This about the SUV thing? Girl, why would you do that?" Another, "If you pour juice in someone's gas tank, don't expect a hug." I didn't have to say a word. She was burying herself. That afternoon I stopped by the SUV dealership. The service manager, Tom, knows everyone in this town. When I handed him the repair estimate, he raised an eyebrow. "Your sister? Really?" "Yep," I said. He shook his head. "You want me to hold on to this invoice?" "Please," I replied. An hour later I had copies sent to my insurance company, and one slipped, very intentionally, to a local business group chat I knew she was in. That's the thing about small towns. When the truth is documented, it travels faster than rumors. By evening my phone buzzed again. This time from my cousin. "She's at Maggie's bar, telling people you're stealing from her. But nobody's buying it. They're asking her about the orange juice." I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I did something quieter. I emailed the storage company. Gave them a list of her belongings and the drop-off time for tomorrow. They replied within minutes, "Confirmed." No confrontation. No scene. Just a smooth transfer from my life to hers. Later that night Mom called again. "She's saying you're ruining her reputation." I paused, then asked, "Or is she doing that herself?" Mom didn't answer. The silence on the other end told me she'd seen the posts. The comments. The pictures of my SUV at the shop. By now, my sister had lost control of the story, and in a town like ours, that's the real damage. It's not what you say about someone. It's when everyone else says it for you. And she still hadn't realized there was one more move coming. Ever watch someone fight the fire, not knowing you're still holding the match? The morning her belongings were delivered to the storage unit, I made sure I was nowhere near the condo. No need for a scene. But I did drive past once. Just to see. She was there. Standing in the parking lot, arms crossed, watching two movers carry boxes out of what she thought was still her place. She didn't yell. Didn't even try to stop them. She just stared. That's when I knew she'd figured out the truth, that she had no legal leg to stand on. By noon, the storage company confirmed everything had been dropped off. I had them email her the code to her new unit. No note. No explanation. That afternoon, I met with a man named Harris. He's a realtor I've known since high school. We sat in his office, the condo's deed on the desk between us. "You still thinking of selling?" he asked. I nodded. The condo wasn't just a property anymore, it was leverage. And selling it now would remove the last thread she thought she could pull. Harris smiled. "I've got a buyer who can close fast. All cash." Music to my ears. Meanwhile, my phone stayed quiet. She hadn't called once. Not because she'd let it go, but because she was regrouping. At 7:15 that evening, my cousin texted me. "She's at Aunt Linda's. Spinning a new story. Now it's, you kicked her out because you're jealous." Jealous? Of someone who poured juice into my gas tank, trashed my name, and lived rent-free in a condo she didn't own. I didn't reply. Instead, I forwarded Harris's email to my lawyer. "Let's move forward," I wrote. "The thing about revenge is, it's not always about making someone pay. Sometimes it's about removing every last piece they thought they could stand on." By the time she realized the condo was listed for sale, it would already be under contract. And she'd be left with exactly what she had now, a storage unit, and a reputation that wouldn't open a single door in this town. She'd set this in motion with one smug sentence in my driveway. And I was going to make sure she remembered it for a long time. Ever seen someone think they're in the middle of the game, when the game's already over? The condo listing went live on a Thursday morning. Bright photos. Fresh paint. The kind of presentation that makes buyers move fast. By noon my phone buzzed. It was Harris, the realtor. 2 offers already. One's over asking. You want me to push it? Yes, I said without hesitation. And then, silence. The kind you get before a storm. At 3:27 p.m., my cousin sent me a screenshot. My sister's group chat, the one she thought I didn't know about. Her message read, "He's selling the condo out from under me. Can he even do that?" The replies came quick. "If your name's not on it, yeah. Girl, you messed up." No sympathy. No outrage. Just blunt truth. By Friday evening Harris called again. All cash buyer. Closing in 10 days. I'll handle the paperwork. It was happening faster than I imagined. Saturday morning I stopped at the coffee shop again. Same spot by the window. Different whispers this time. Did you hear? She's losing the condo. Guess that juice wasn't worth it. I didn't smile. But I let the words sink in. Later that afternoon Mom called. Her voice was softer now. She's not taking this well. She'll survive, I said. Do you really have to sell? Yes. I kept it that simple. Because the truth is Mom wasn't asking for her, she was asking for herself. Selling the condo meant the end of a family hub. But keeping it meant giving my sister a constant foothold in my life. That night, my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice came through tight and rushed. You win okay? Just stop this. Don't sell it. I'll make it right. But making it right wasn't an option anymore. Not after she tried to humiliate me, manipulate me, and destroy my property. I didn't call back. Didn't text. Just forwarded the voicemail to my lawyer, and told Harris to move forward without delay. Because sometimes the loudest statement you can make is absolute silence. Ever watch someone realize the deal they thought they could talk you out of is already signed? Closing day came faster than I expected. 10 days. That's all it took. I arrived at the title office early. Harris was already there, sipping coffee, a neat stack of documents waiting. All we need is your signature, he said. By the time I was halfway through signing, my phone started buzzing. Unknown number. Then another. Then another. I didn't answer. At 10:14 a.m., my mom's name flashed across the screen. I stepped outside to take it. She's here, Mom said. At the condo. Crying. Saying she'll give you the keys back if you stop the sale. The keys she hasn't had for weeks? I asked. Silence. Then a soft, I guess so. I told her I'd call later and walked back inside. The buyer arrived right on time, a retired couple from 2 towns over. Friendly, polite, carrying a cashier's check. They loved the condo. More importantly, they loved the fact it came with 0 drama attached to their names. While they signed their papers, Harris leaned over. She's outside, he whispered. I glanced through the window. There she was, pacing on the sidewalk, phone in hand, scanning every face that passed. She didn't see me watching. When it was my turn to pass over the final set of keys, Harris smiled. Congratulations. It's done. Those 2 words, it's done, felt heavier than the check sitting in front of me. Because they weren't just about the condo. They were about closing a door I should have locked years ago. By noon the sale was recorded. The money hit my account. The property was no longer mine, and no longer hers in any fantasy she'd been holding onto. That afternoon she finally called from her own number. No, hello. No, we need to talk. Just, how could you? I let the question hang in the air before saying, you started this in my driveway. I just finished it in an office. And then I ended the call. She thought revenge would come with shouting matches and slammed doors. Instead, it came with signatures and silence. Ever seen someone realize the moment they feared happened hours before they even showed up? 2 weeks passed before I heard her name again. By then, the condo sale was old news to me. But not to her. I was at the bank, finalizing a wire transfer, when the teller slid the receipt across the counter. She glanced at the amount and said, big move. Investing? I nodded. Something like that. Because the condo money wasn't just sitting in my account. It was already working, funding the down payment on a property 3 times the size, in a part of town she could never touch. Later that day Harris called. You'll get a kick out of this. She's been asking the new owners if she can stop by to see the place. They told her to talk to their lawyer. I laughed for the first time in weeks. Not because it was funny, but because it was final. That evening I stopped by the coffee shop. Same window seat. Same slow sip of coffee. Across the room 2 women were talking. And then he sold it out from under her. Good for him. She had it coming. I didn't join the conversation. Didn't need to. Back home I sent a single text to my sister. The condo's gone. The keys are gone. And so is your hold on me. No reply. Just a read receipt. A few days later, I heard through the grapevine that she'd moved out of town, packed up her storage unit and left without saying goodbye to anyone. Because here the story would always follow her. Not my story. Hers. And the best part? I never had to raise my voice. Never had to make a scene. I let her hand me the reason, and I handed her the ending. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a signature on a line, a lock that no longer fits, and the quiet knowledge that you're finally free. She poured juice in my gas tank thinking it would cost me. Instead, it cost her everything she thought she had.